All right, let's dive right in, shall we? You guys are here because you're ready to make passive income a reality. And let me tell you, in 2024, the possibilities are, well, they're pretty exciting. But, and this is a big but, with so many options out there, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why this deep dive is all about cutting through all that noise and figuring out what really works.
Absolutely. There's this myth that passive income is about getting rich quick, but the reality, it's about putting in the work up front, building those systems that will pay off over time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, like planting a tree, right?
Yeah.
You put in the effort now to reap the rewards later.
I like that analogy. You're not just wishing for a money tree, you're actually planting the seeds, nurturing it. And speaking of planting seeds, our sources this week are jam-packed with strategies for building income streams, and they jump right into a classic real estate.
Okay, real estate, always a hot topic. But I'm guessing there's a twist here.
You bet. They actually present two distinct approaches, each with its own level of investment and involvement.
Oh, okay, so even within real estate, we've got options. I like it.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep going.
So first up, we have real estate crowdfunding. Platforms like, let's say, Fundrise, for example, they're making it possible for investors to get started without needing, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a down payment.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying I could become a real estate investor with just, like, pocket change?
Well, not quite pocket change, but you can get started with as little as $500.
500 bucks. That's like less than a month's rent in some places. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. But how does it actually work?
Basically, these platforms pool your money with other investors to fund larger real estate projects.
So it's like teamwork, but for building wealth through property.
Exactly. And the best part, you get the potential for returns without having to deal with the headaches of being a landlord.
Oh, man. No more late night calls about a broken toilet. Sign me up. But how do you choose the right projects? I mean, there must be some duds out there, right?
You're absolutely right. Not all crowdfunding opportunities are created equal. That's where due diligence comes in. Research the platform, their track record, the specific project.
Gotcha. So, like any investment, got to do your homework. What about the second approach you mentioned too?
Ah, yes. That would be REITs, real estate investment trusts. Think of them as the stock market's version of real estate.
Okay, so instead of owning a physical property, I'd be owning what, like a tiny piece of a company that owns a bunch of properties?
Precisely. And just like with stocks, you can buy and sell REIT shares on the market. They're great for diversification. And many REITs are required to distribute a large portion of their profits to shareholders as dividends.
Dividends, okay. So it's like getting a little bonus just for being invested.
Exactly. And those dividends can then be reinvested, potentially leading to even greater returns over time.
All right, so we've got real estate for the hands-on folks and REITs for those who prefer the stock market route. Lots of options. Okay, so we've talked about real estate, but what about making money from what you know? Our sources this week have a ton of ideas for that, and the one that really stood out to me was creating online courses.
Oh, definitely. That market has just exploded. People are hungry to learn online, and it's not just like typical school stuff anymore.
Right? You see courses on everything these days, like how to code, how to bake bread, even how to, I don't know, train your cat or something. But how do you even start creating one? Seems like a huge project.
It can feel overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
But the first step is figuring out your niche. Like, what are you truly passionate about? What do you know so well you could teach it to anyone?
I like that. So not chasing trends,
Yeah,
but tapping into your own expertise.
exactly. Once you've got that, you got to validate it. Is there actually an audience who wants to learn what you're offering? Platforms like Teachable and Udemy are great for this.
Wait, so you can actually see if people are searching for courses on certain topics? That's smart.
Yep. And how much they're willing to pay even gives you a sense of the competition. But once your course is live, that's when the real work starts. Marketing.
Social media, email lists, all that good stuff.
Exactly. And the beauty of online courses is they're scalable. Create the content once and it can generate income for years. Speaking of which, our sources also mention digital products like ebooks and templates. Same idea, right?
Yeah, so it's like packaging up your knowledge into something people can download. Instead of a full course, maybe it's a workbook or like a set of design templates.
Right on. And the profit margins are great because you don't have those physical production or shipping costs.
This is blowing my mind. So many possibilities. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Our sources also talk about more traditional investments like dividend stocks.
The old reliable. Yeah, those have been a staple of passive income portfolios forever. Basically, it's a way for companies to share their profits with shareholders.
Like a little thank you check for investing in them.
Precisely. But not all companies pay dividends. And even those that do, it can vary a lot.
Okay, so how do I pick the right ones?
Research is key. Look for companies with a consistent history of dividend payments, strong financials, you know the whole 9 yards. Oh, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is key.
Diversification, always. Speaking of diversification, our sources also mentioned peer-to-peer lending. That sounds kind of risky.
It can be. Platforms like Lending Club connect borrowers directly with investors, cutting out the banks.
So instead of my money sitting in a savings account earning, like, nothing, I could lend it directly to someone and maybe earn a higher return.
Exactly. But, and it's a big but, there's always the risk the borrower might not pay back.
That makes sense. So again, diversification is probably crucial.
For sure. Spread your money across multiple loans to minimize that risk. And a lot of platforms even let you set criteria, like minimum credit scores to kind of automate your investments.
That's super helpful. So with peer-to-peer lending, you're basically the bank, but you've got more control, potentially higher returns, but, got to be careful. This is fascinating. Okay, let's see. We've covered real estate, online courses, even became our own little banks for a minute there. My head is spinning with ideas.
And we're not done yet. Our sources this week also talk about ways to make money from stuff you already have.
Now that's what I'm talking about, putting those dusty old treasures to work. Tell me more.
One thing that's becoming more popular, especially for entrepreneurial types, is buying an existing blog or website.
So instead of starting from scratch, you're buying a business that's already going.
Exactly. There's actually a whole market for websites that are already making money, through ads, affiliate links, that sort of thing.
Wow. So you're basically inheriting a money-making machine. But wouldn't that be like a really expensive upfront cost?
It can be, but it's like buying an investment property. You're buying the traffic, the brand, the potential to earn.
Makes sense. So instead of waiting forever to build an audience, you're kind of hitting the ground running.
Exactly. But of course, you got to do your research right, make sure the website is legit, the traffic is real, all that.
Right. Due diligence. I'm picking up on the lingo. What other stuff can we use to bring in some passive income?
Well, our sources talk a lot about the sharing economy, and I'm not just talking about renting out a spare room on Airbnb. Think like your car, storage space, anything really.
Hold on, are you serious? I can rent out my attic.
Yep. Platforms like Neighbor connect people with space to people who need it, and it goes beyond just physical space, too. You could rent out your car on Getaround, even like your lawnmower if you're feeling adventurous.
I'm telling you, I'm seeing dollar signs everywhere now. Okay, one last thing from our sources. And this one threw me for a loop. Vending machines.
I know, right? Seems a little old school compared to everything else we've talked about, but they can be a really solid, low-maintenance way to generate some cash flow.
Okay, I'm listening. How do vending machines fit into this whole passive income thing in 2024?
Well, think about it. Once you find a good location, stock it up, the work is pretty minimal. People are always going to need snacks and drinks, right?
True, true. But I'm guessing location is key here.
Absolutely. Busy places are best, like office buildings, maybe a gym. Oh, and you got to be strategic about what you stock it with, too.
Yeah, no more stale chips and questionable candy bars, right?
Right. Think healthy snacks, maybe some higher-end stuff. People are willing to pay for convenience.
Wow, you've given me a whole new perspective on vending machines. You might have to go do some recon around town now.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've covered so much ground from real estate to, well, vending machines.
Right. It's a lot to take in, but I think the main takeaway here is that passive income isn't about finding just one perfect thing. It's about diversifying, building multiple streams.
Yeah, having all those different income robots working for you 24/7.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is you can customize it to fit your interests and your lifestyle.
Whether you're into investing, teaching, or, hey, maybe even renting out your power tools, there's a passive income stream out there for you. All right, folks, that's a wrap on this deep dive. Remember, the best time to start building your financial freedom was yesterday, but the second best time is right now. So get out there, start exploring, and as always, we'll catch you in the next deep dive.